Hi, my name is Lindsay Armagon, and I'm going to be testing all 12 cranial nerves on my patient Ayushi. So I'm going to test the first cranial nerve, the olfactory nerve. I'm going to have my patient close your eyes for me and occlude one nostril and introduce a strong smell. And what can you smell? Cinnamon? Good job. Keep your eyes closed for me. I'm going to have you occlude your other nostril and introduce another smell. And what do you smell? Closed. Good job. You can open your eyes for me. So it looks like cranial nerve 1 is intact. Next, I'm going to test cranial nerve 2, the optic nerve. I have a visual acuity chart about 20 feet away. I'm going to have you occlude one eye for me. And looking out at that chart, what's the smallest line you can read?
OHP and TZ.
Good job. Occlude your right eye for me. And what's the smallest line you can see?
OHP and TZ.
Good job. So it looks like cranial nerve 2 is intact as well. Next, I'm going to test cranial nerves 3, the oculomotor nerve, cranial nerve 4, the trochlear nerve, and cranial nerve 6, the abducens nerve, at the same time with a physiological H test. So, can you look at the tip of my pen right here? What I want you to do is keep your head completely still and just follow that pen with your eyes. Good job. So there are no restrictions of gaze in any direction, so cranial nerves 3, 4, and 6 are intact. Next, I'm going to test the sensory division of cranial nerve 5, the trigeminal nerve. I'm going to have you take your glasses off for me, please. And I'm going to have you tilt your head up a little bit. I'm going to have you look up and inward, and I'm going to touch the temporal cornea. Good. And same thing, I'm going to have you look up and in. I'm going to touch the temporal cornea from this side. Good. And so with that blink reflex, that shows that the sensory division is intact. Just keep looking straight ahead for me. You're going to feel me touch your face gently. And do all of my touches on your face feel about the same? Good. And lastly, I'm going to have you clench your teeth for me. And feel the muscles right here. And the muscle tone feels the same on both sides. So the motor division of cranial nerve 5 is intact as well. Next, I'm going to test the cranial nerve 7, the facial nerve. So I'm going to have you clench your, just smile for me. Good. And the nasal labial folds on both sides look the same. I'm going to have you wrinkle your forehead for me. And the wrinkles on both sides of the forehead look about the same. And last, I'm going to have you take your glasses off for me. I'm going to have you squeeze your eyes shut tight and trying to pry those open. The resistance on both eyes feels the same. So cranial nerve 7, the facial nerve is intact. Next, I'm going to test the cranial nerve 8, the vestibulo-ocular nerve, with the Weber test. So just keep looking straight ahead. I'm going to hit this tune and fork here. Hold that against the patient's forehead. And does the sound on both sides sound pretty equal? Good. So cranial nerve 8 is intact. Next, I'm going to test cranial nerve 9, the glossopharyngeal nerve, and cranial nerve 10, the vagus nerve, at the same time. So just stick out your tongue and say, ah.
Ah.
Good job. The cranial nerves 9 and 10 are intact. Next, I'm going to test cranial nerve 11, the accessory nerve. So I'm going to come behind the patient here and push down on your shoulders and just try to shrug upwards in resistance. Good. And the resistance on both sides feels equal. And just clench your teeth for me. Please pause the video. Okay, and I'm going to place my hand here gently on your face and put my other hand right here on your sternocleidomastoid muscle. So I'm going to have you try to push your face in this direction of my hand. Good. I'm going to place my hand on this side now and put this hand on your muscle and push in the direction of my hand. Good job. And so the muscle tone on both sides feels the same. So cranial nerve 11 is intact. And last, I am going to check cranial nerve 12, the hypoglossal nerve. So just stick out your tongue for me. And I'm going to hold this cotton swab right here and try to push it laterally in the direction of that cotton swab. Good. And I'm going to hold it on this side and try to push laterally in this direction. Good job. job. So it looks like the reflexes on both sides are intact, so cranial nerve 12 is intact also.